Hello and welcome to the Travel Show with me, Henry Golding, coming to you from Cambodia. Now this week, I'll be escaping the hustle and bustle of Phnom Penh in search of getting up close and personal with some of the wildlife here.
Hello. So this is Maya.
Maya.
So she's a beautiful little silvered lango.
Also coming up.
We send Ben off to the Scottish Highlands to find his way to the country's most remote pub.
So I can't use a map, a compass or GPS to help me get to my destination. All I'm going to use is my Sterling sense of direction and these tips from one of Britain's leading natural navigators.
A few miles from Cambodia's bustling capital Phnom Penh, a battle is being fought to preserve the balance between Cambodia's wildlife and its environment. In the dense Cardamom Mountain rainforest towards the west of the country, the illegal logging, poaching and trafficking of animals is endangering the future of the region's only rainforest, leaving many animals injured or worse. I'm going to go and see what is being done to stop the damage. But first, I want to visit a centre that's showing tourists how it rehabilitates these injured animals.
Hi.
How are you? I'm Henry.
Good, and yourself? Emma, pleasure to meet you. So welcome to our nursery over here.
Oh, you can hear it from a mile off, can't you?
This is where all the little baby animals come.
Oh, look how precious they are.
Aren't they beautiful?
So many of them.
Yeah, so these ones were all rescued by road by the airport. So we got a tip off from an expat that there were some birds being sold on that road, and the rescue team went and rescued them and brought them here.
And so what types of animals do you actually accept here?
Anything, so anything comes through our doors we'll take that's wildlife.
Really?
Yeah, we've never said no to an animal at this stage.
Oh, look at this.
Isn't she beautiful?
Hello.
So this is Maya.
Maya.
So she's a beautiful little silvered lango.
Gosh. And why is she here then?
So rescued from the pet trade, which is quite common with the animals that are coming through to us because they're obviously very cute as babies.
Yeah.
But then they grow up a little bit older, and these ones in particular need very specialised care, so they start getting sick and people don't want them anymore.
And so what are the main dangers that the wildlife here in Cambodia actually face?
So habitat destruction is one of the main ones, illegal logging, also not having enough food in the forest anymore because the habitat's being taken, and then illegally taking them from the wild. So snares for food, subsistence hunting is quite common, and then also the pet trade because they're very, very cute.
As much as I would love to hold her, feed her, and just play with her, I suppose, I can't, because a part of the rehabilitation process is limiting that of human interaction, and the keepers essentially become their surrogate mothers.
Cambodia is one of Asia's top countries for exported wildlife. It also has one of the worst deforestation rates in the world. The country lost almost a quarter of its forest cover between 1973 and 2009. Illegal logging is blamed for some of this loss, but others point the finger at corporations and officials who did deals which some say amount to a land grab.
Hello, little babies.
A shift in position from authorities recently, however, gives far more protection to the remaining forest. Welcome news for any monkeys on the market for a new home.
Hello, look at this place. It's like a playground.
They're gorgeous. Hi, little one.
So what's this space here?
So this is an enclosure where our primates that go from the nursery area there get to come here and habituate to other primates. So you get to learn how a troop works, and this is an enclosure before released back into the wild.
So there's a mixture of species here.
Correct, so we've got two. So we've got these little ones here, which are called stumptails, and we'll go inside shortly. And they've got the ones at the top of the enclosure, they're called long-tail macaques, so long-tails and stumptails. Keeps it easy for me to remember.
Got a tremendous amount of food, so I think
Shall we come in?
Dish them out. Hey, look.
These ones are 6 months old to 1 year old.
So why is it that we can actually interact
With these ones, yeah.
with these little ones?
Macaques live right next to human habitation in the wild everywhere, so it does affect their rehab. Come up this way.
Wow, there he is.
Isn't he amazing?
He is beautiful.
So this
My
is
gosh.
Chuk. He's our youngest elephant at the park here, and he came to us when he was about a year old or 18 months old. He's got a prosthetic on the front left foot there, and he lost his leg to a
Shame.
hunting snare put in the forest floor. And they're not trying to catch an elephant, they're trying to catch something much, much smaller like deer or wild boar or monkeys for food, and he's wandered through it by accident. So we're actually going to change it over now, so we'll take it off and take the sock off, have a look at the stump, make sure everything's going okay.
Wow.
So he was small enough that his leg fit into the snare, but also strong enough he was able to pull out of it. As he was trying to pull out of it, it's cut into his leg, and then literally cut the bottom of his leg off as he struggled more and more.
Wow, that is amazing. He knows exactly what to do.
Exactly, and he helps put it on as well. It's amazing.
They're not worried about who they catch. They're really not concerned as what kind of damage they're doing, but anybody who comes along can get caught.
Yeah, so it's decimating wildlife populations across the globe, but particularly in Southeast Asia.
It's horrible. He's on the mend.
Yes.
He's looking good.
Well, later on in the show, I'll be racing deep into the cardamom, joining the team set up to tackle the problems facing the wildlife and the rainforest.
That is shocking, to say the least.
Next up, Ben is off to the wilds of the Scottish Highlands to try his hand at a spot of natural navigation, the art of using nature and the environment to tell you which way to go.
Before smartphones, before GPS, before maps and compasses, how did we navigate the world around us? I'm in Glenfinnan, in the north of Scotland, to embark on a 3-day hike across one of the country's most isolated regions. My destination? The town of Inverie, home to the most remote pub in Britain. It's 30 miles across harsh, mountainous terrain, and I'm going to attempt it without any of the modern tools we use to find our way around.
So I can't use a map, a compass or GPS to help me get to my destination. All I'm going to use is my Sterling sense of direction and these tips from one of Britain's leading natural navigators.
Natural navigation is the rare art of finding your way using nature. The sun, moon, stars, wind, weather, plants and animals. It used to be used all the time, of course. Before humankind invented instruments, it was the only navigation we had. And human beings found their way across pretty much the whole planet using natural navigation. So it's something, you know, as a species, we're clearly capable of, but it's also something we've forgotten about.
So I'm going on a 30-mile hike across the Highlands with no technology, which is terrifying.
Using natural navigation?
Using natural navigation.
And you've never done any natural navigation before?
Not in any way, shape or form.
Okay, you may have bitten off more than you can chew, but we'll see what we can do. The penny drop moment for most people is when they actually see quite a dramatically windswept tree, something that looks like this. What we want to do is look for a shape called the plough. What we've got is 7 stars. What you then want to do is line 2 things up on the ground to make a perfect north-south line. Because if, let's say, you're not walking on...
So the path I need to take is somewhere northwest of here. The problem is I don't really know where northwest is, and that's where the power of natural navigation comes in. Okay, so there's a technique in this magical book that tells me how to find north using the power of the sun, and it involves me finding a stick. And hopefully making it stay up. There you go. Next, mark the tip of the shadow with a small object. I'll do a pebble, okay? And
And then I have to wait 10 to 15 minutes and hopefully the shadow will move.
As the sun moves across the sky, the theory goes you can use the shadow to chart a very rough east-west line.
Alright, so the next step is to mark the new position with another stone. And I need to draw a straight line. There we go. I stand with my left foot on the first mark and stand with my right. And I face straight. This should be pretty much true north, which means that around about there should be northwest, which should hopefully be my destination. Or if I've got it completely wrong, the middle of nowhere.
Once I know the direction, finding my path is fairly easy, and I'm on my way.
Wow, this is the bridge from Harry Potter. Looks better in real life. So I've made it to my house for the night. It looks nice and cozy. Now let's see if I've got any neighbours.
Small houses like this one can be found all over the Scottish Highlands. They're called bothies, and they're left open for hikers like myself to camp in overnight.
So welcome to my casa. I just need to set up my bed. I have some neighbours over there. Hello, neighbourinos. It's not the most glamorous of places to stay, but it's quite nice. And voila.
Today has been pretty straightforward, and natural navigation has helped me get to the bothy. But I still have 25 miles to go.
Tomorrow, I continue on north, which means my next challenge is to find the North Star.
In the Northern Hemisphere, the North Star is a constant feature of the night sky.
Okay, first I need to find the plough. I can see it directly above me. This illustration is actually extremely accurate. Right, so if I follow that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think that's it. Yeah, there it is. All right, so I've got to remember, that's the direction I'm headed tomorrow.
And we'll be picking up the rest of Ben's journey in next week's show. In the meantime, if you're tempted to try natural navigation for yourself, do make sure you set off with the right kit. Details on the link below. Take a map and compass anyway, just in case. Still to come on the travel show. I'm on the back of a moped hunting the poachers hiding in the Cambodian jungle.
It's almost like trying to stay on a fucking Bronco. Whoa!
The travel show, your essential guide wherever you're heading.
Tehát én Bábel István vagyok.
I am István Babel from Kiskunság, Hungary. I have studied cooking and farming since 1969. In our kitchen we are able to make 400 to 500 dishes from memory. We have 6 members of staff who speak 6 different languages. Probably this is one of our secrets to why we are so popular, and obviously the quality.
Meg a minőség. A gulyás az egy nagyon-nagyon...
The goulash is a very odd traditional Hungarian dish. It used to be the food for the herdsmen. Sometimes they had to butcher the weaker cows and use them to make a stew or soup in an open fire with locally ground vegetables and spices.
Akkor ebben a részben benne lesz az is.
The ingredients are carrots, roots, celery, green peppers and caraway seeds. For meat, you can use mutton, cow, sheep, goat, or if you don't have these animals, you can use chicken. That's tasty as well. This is part of my job, to make sure everything is okay at the front of house.
Mondjátok.
What the gentleman asked for is a kind of goulash, but instead of raw meat, we use cooked smoked meat.
Nagyon forró. Mi kétféle gulyást árulunk.
We do two types of goulash, one with beans, which has exactly the same ingredients as the original goulash. Both of them are very popular. This kind of dish you only need to have a bowl of it, and keeps you going all day long.
Ez egy olyan egytálétel.
Kokong Province, a quiet corner in the southwest of Cambodia, an area made up of a vast coastline, partially inaccessible rainforests, and barely a tourist in sight. But from this summer, travelers will be given the opportunity to pay to experience what the rangers on the front line of trafficking and logging here are dealing with.
It's been quite an early start, up at 6 a.m, trying to get here for about 7. This is Sri Amble Patrol Station where I'll be meeting the team that's going to be taking me on patrol. Good morning.
Hi, morning.
How are you? I'm Henry.
I'm Eddie.
Eddie, lovely
Yes.
to meet you.
You're
This looks
welcome.
pretty serious.
Yes.
So we're preparing to leave out anytime soon?
So we're preparing to go on daily patrol, yeah?
Now, I've actually noticed that there are guns, so there is a real danger to this patrol.
It is a real danger, yes. Because, you know, illegal loggers or illegal poachers, we'll call them offenders, they never want to get caught by law enforcement people. Because if they get caught, they're going to the jail. I'm gonna show you our evidence store.
That is shocking, to say the least. Have a look at how many chainsaws they've actually commandeered from these illegal loggers. How many would you say there are, Eddie?
It's over 500 also, yeah. But this piece of timber, which you see it here, look, this is the rosewood, the famous rosewood, which is the more expensive.
Right, okay.
In China, it's cost $20,000 per cubic meters, yes.
And
Table tails.
these would just be looped around a tree,
Yes.
waiting
yes,
for something to come
yes,
along.
Yes.
Put
And
a
of
foot
course,
in there,
Yes.
and then
Get in.
tighten.
Yes.
So, time for me to take on the criminals. Kind of.
All right, let's go.
Now, the majority of the road is going to be much like this or even worse. No concrete, no tarmac, jungle, sand and rivers. Well, it's pretty scary. We were stopping for a little bit of a water break. In the distance, there were two guys on a motorbike who literally just leapt on their bike and ran off. And luckily, one of the guys actually saw that, started chasing. And what's happened is they've dropped whatever they were carrying, and this was it, rosewood.
Rosewood, yes.
The perpetrators are too quick to get away this time. It's clearly a tough job for these rangers. Just making our way through the forest is hard enough.
This is the only way of getting these across without getting the engine too flooded. Hopefully no crocodiles. Okay. Nobody said saving animals is easy. This ride is getting bumpier and bumpier. It's almost like trying to stay on a fucking bronco. Whoa!
The reason why the Rangers are here is because the Cardamom Mountain is Asia's only rainforest in the region. And if we don't protect the cardamoms, it will be gone. And once it's gone, it can't come back. So we're trying, Wildlife Alliance is partnering with the government to prevent, stop this from happening.
This deforestation is destroying animals' habitats, and that's not the only man-made dangers they face here. The remains of snares can be found all around.
It's a strong piece of stick, okay?
Yep.
Planted on the ground. So when he's coming, he's getting this piece of fruit, whatever it is, and he's getting caught in.
Right. So there's a bit missing here.
Yes, it's missing a piece of fruit, and I believe something else is missing.
So a lot of these traps are designed to maim rather than kill, so they can collect them alive.
Yes.
Having seen the indiscriminate damage that snares like these do to even much larger animals than their intended targets, it's quite shocking to see one up close. With so many families in rural Cambodia teetering just above the poverty line, I suspect that most of those engaged in the snaring and logging are just hoping for a way to help themselves and their families get by. But witnessing it myself, I also come face to face with the brutal impact this can have.
Amazing place to finish off the patrol with the Wildlife Alliance Rangers. I have to say, this has probably been one of the most grueling shoots I've had with the travel show, but it's been extremely fulfilling. And it's just a glimpse into how much work actually goes into protecting a place like this. So I'm done, I'm finished. I'm gonna go home, rest my sore bum, I think. It's been a long day. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Coming up next week,
Ben's still trying to find his way to a drink at the most remote pub in Britain.
So I took this route headed north, but along the way there's been a few more twists and turns than I imagined, so I'm not really sure if I'm headed in the right direction.
do join us for that if you can, but don't forget you can follow us wherever we are in the world by joining our social media feeds. All the details are on the bottom of your screens now. But for me, Henry Golding, and the rest of the Travel Show team here in Cambodia, it's goodbye, or as they say around these parts, Lee Hai.